fact that he's already so good at landing those Orion signatures on a regular basis, imagine the danger that you'll be running here in the beginning of this. However, we're looking at a very different lineup of characters going on right now.
Not even just like a different lineup than what we would have expected, but like a wild lineup compared to what we saw a lot of in the other regions. First of all, like we talked about Bo not really having its place, at least the way players are playing it, in 3v3. Like, no one figured out where Bo fits into 3v3. The first thing we're seeing is Stingray with a bow in his hand.
We did see some crosses today. You know, this time we're going to be seeing, of course, the Hellboy on that, but already getting the first knockout. And, yeah, with the bow showing up, that definitely throws me off pretty heavily. I figured, you know, that spear control that was going on yesterday was so good, but doesn't even matter. They've already lined up 2 knockouts to start, and they're pretty close to getting the 3rd one there on Jet Bean already.
I'm just looking at this character variety at the top right of my screen. Santy on the Val is normal, but we have a Kaya, we have an Onyx, we even have a Cross here, we have a Caspian. We saw one Caspian yesterday, but we're already seeing it in the first game of the day. We're seeing stocks flying as well. Somehow his experience is still living.
I think Experience's defense is just so good in a multiple character situation where you have to dodge so many bodies around you, and Experience is really good at pressuring, but Jet Bean doing exactly the same thing. Go ahead and find that knockout. It actually evened the game right back up pretty quickly. However, Santy, very unhealthy. So is Impala. Both of them trying to find their way back over on the left-hand side. Luckily for Stingray.
That was so close, dude. If he would have been in orange on that final hit, I think it would have been curtains there for Experience's second stock. Jet Bean still trying it. You talked about it yesterday, that Cannon has some serious potential to go crazy in this mode. We saw a little bit of it, but it's really already coming out today from Jet Bean.
I have zero surprise on me either, because Jet Bean's Mordex is so good. Watching the Cannon play right now and the way that he's pushing advantage. Look at that, he hit 3 people. 3 people on center. It's like, oh, that's great. I see a whole pile up. I'm going to go in there, break this up, and hit everyone in the mist. But that is going to be Stingray being knocked down to his last stock. So his Experience in Maid is pretty much right there. You got to be very careful about fighting over on that left platform, as Maid does find one, but it's getting very dangerous.
It is 4 stocks to 3 here. Maid, we'll see where he chooses to position. We saw him moving maybe slightly over towards the right platform, but really he's kind of staying in the middle. Now he's actually going over to the left, but again, the sidelight is towards the middle. So he's trying to move to the middle as much as he can. Doesn't spend too much time on the periphery because he's so damaged. He doesn't want to fall. Possible edge guard being set up here. Oh, he didn't have enough in-air movement economy to make it back to that corner, touch that wall, get his jumps back, so he's going to fall there. 3 stocks to 3.
I'm really loving Impala's existence on the left side of the screen, too. We saw a very good recent performance from Impala not that long ago, and continuing to do so right here. But all of the red team just hovering like, hey, regroup on the left platform there.
Dude, they tried to regroup on that, but they also, 2 of them got hit with a neutral light, so they were forcefully regrouped by the blue team. Then there was a beautiful follow-up off of that. Maid, oh, instantaneous, beautifully synchronized knockouts coming out. Maid, Experience, and Stingray taking game 1.
If you told me Bo was going to be playing so successful today on the first round after seeing basically none of it yesterday, and a big reason why we were anticipating that is like, hey, you kind of want to be able to control someone's movement to find those D-lights, find that control pace of the game. That we were just completely wrong so far. It is looking amazing to start things off here. Maybe people are just not prepared for it, but a very unique lineup. Again, like we said, not what we expected. A lot of very straightforward characters yesterday. Today, nothing but a unique lineup here, and it's already been super exciting. And
it's literally just the first game of this starting, because who is playing that Koji pick, that Bo pick? That is Stingray coming out in this. We have several Kojis in Europe. I'm looking at Akno, but Akno going into that one was not playing the Koji whatsoever. It was a lot of Bryn coming out from Akno yesterday. Really a standard 2v2 pick. Also, one of these standard 2v2 picks for Akno usually starts off on the Koji, will then swap to that, but no, it was the Bryn right out of the gate. Stingray, of course, not changing after a stellar last game, and we're going back to the same map.
Yeah, a heavy dose of Axe yesterday, too, and we're seeing the minimal at the moment, and it's still looking
there's not even one, right?
Actually, I don't think there's one on screen.
Like, I know there's not in my brain, but it just somehow feels wrong that it feels like there's got to be an Axe somewhere, right? But no, there's not.
We're going to see Stingray take that one off the top as well. Yes, this Koji's popping off. His recovery lineups have been so good, but look at the spacing he has. He focused on Santy, separated Santy, instantly focused on Impala directly above him, said no, get away, and then just refocused back. That spacing is actually looking really good, but Impala going off stage trying to catch Experience, and Experience gets the reversal, but gives up a stock as well. Misspaced, trying to get back on that right platform.
I think that might have been a little bit of an early stock loss. I didn't happen to catch their health before they ended up falling to even see where Impala was when he got hit. His ground pound that came in was almost like really nasty, but Experience called it out, knew it was coming, drifted away from the wall, hit the beautiful side air to then send Impala under the stage.
Yeah, you gotta pay a little bit attention to when it's starting to flow up, but at the same time, Experience has done so good off stage that the occasional blunder is not even like a huge deal, right? Because look how minimal damage Experience has taken since. And also Stingray and Maid have been in the red. Finally, Stingray's gonna fall, but that took a long time before Stingray actually did fall.
Jetbean's coming in heavy, hitting cannon, sending Maid all the way to the left side. Santy hoping to engage, but no, takes a hit and disengages to stay away from Maid. Jetbean is going to fall, now the first player on final stocks. Meanwhile, Maid still living on the first.
Yeah, that was a huge whiff punish for Experience onto Jetbean in center, but instantly answering right back as Impala. We were talking about Impala a little while ago and not seeing much bow. Well, Impala's also doing the same thing. Maybe not lining up as many KOs as Stingray has so far, but getting plenty of damage for the red team.
Oh, Experience. He's just kind of sitting over on the left side platform. Not really sure why that was. There was no initiation over towards him like he could take someone out early. He was sitting there for just a moment. He was fresh on his stock, so it wasn't like he was in danger of being taken out of the game. He was just sitting, maybe testing the waters to see how the red team would react.
Yeah, it was almost comical. It was like, hey, come here,
yeah.
Come on, I'm over here. And then as soon as Impala said, what are you doing there? Got hit by recovery. So, it's like, got him. But now, for the red team, you have to actually be the ones to get stage control. They're going to go ahead and get rid of Stingray. Maid is going to get the wall touch at the bottom. But Maid's been on this stock for a long time, too. Blue has been very good at keeping these for a good stretch.
Experience taking out Santy. Impala taking some serious damage. Same thing for Jetbean. Maid is going to dodge to get through the weapon. Impala not going to engage, maybe afraid of being at the weapon disadvantage. Spawn comes in on the left side, goes to Jetbean. Impala still without a weapon. Santy is going to take Maid off of the top.
That was a really good read by Santy, recognizing, oh, Maid is getting pressure right now by Impala, so you're going to want to dip high. You think nobody's coming. Instant punish on the recovery. Meanwhile, Experience is all the way at the bottom. There's sweat beads onto Santy, but had to focus on Impala, who was coming over to try and break it up.
Dude, Experience, they disengaged. Impala and Santy had the main advantage for a moment on Experience. They disengaged. They see his Katars going all over the place, doing all kinds of damage over on that soft platform. That could take out Impala, that could take out Jetbean, that could take out Santy. In a heartbeat, it's Jetbean that is going to fall first for this team, giving the 3v2 option over to Blue.
You know that somebody in the building by the name of Foda is pretty happy about hearing Katars doing very well right now in threes. And that's continuing as we see Impala almost fly off the top of the screen. And I like the idea of Experience trying to sneak underneath while you're too busy looking over at Maid. Maid, however, just trying to find ground. This 3v2 isn't that bad. Everybody is really unhealthy. Now it has gotten way worse as Impala has just fallen.
It is definitely winnable for Santy. You see Experience recovering back onto the wall to reset those jumps. Unfortunately, for Santy, he's unable to punish that because Maid was right there. Anything that Santy commits to, he has to worry about 3 players on the blue team giving the recovery, especially when he's this damaged. That double down air, that is all but going to, and it actually does close this game out. Didn't know if there was a possibility for Santy to grab a hit, maybe get a chase dodge, something like that. But no, none of that was an option. And Experience, man, you talked about those Katars doing well. 618 damage.
That is actually phenomenal for Experience. And we were talking about his defense. Well, his advantage state is incredible too. But I was so impressed by the blue team's reactions to help each other and team combo. That is one of the most consistent things you need in threes because there are so many bodies on screen. You need to constantly have your eyes paying attention. Actions per minute are through the roof. And when you can recognize, oh, they have a team combo lineup for me ready to go, and you get that recovery play, that's how a couple of those things went. We almost saw that close out off the wall bounce with Experience into Maid following up off the top. Didn't connect into a knockout, but it was still really good team synergy where sometimes we've seen a couple people when they're all deep in the red like that panic, even in the 1v3. They did not.
Incredible work there. And you mentioned those team combo opportunities. That's important because it's not just a 0 to done, a 0 to knockout, a 0 to your sit down, be humble. It's those little moment-to-moment ones where you can add up that 50 damage, sometimes finish off a KO when someone is deep enough in the red to get that KO. It's finding those smaller moments all the time consistently and being ready to see those and get ready for them in real time rather than like, okay, it's the 1v3. Let's get to our places, guys. We practice this in training mode.
Well, this is definitely one of those stages you could see some stuff like that light up, because yesterday when we saw the first time somebody went to Chodos, we're like, okay, they're probably going to separate, right? Like, there's going to be 2 1v1s going on one side and, like, maybe 1 2v1 that occasionally happens on the third. No, everybody just fought on the right platform.
Dude, it was the right side, man. It was the right side was a high-density housing complex, man. Everyone was just, like, completely stacked on top of each other. Somehow the scary small maps weren't really scary enough for them to deter them from the right side of the stage.
Yeah, it was very, very incredible to watch everybody walk out unscathed sometimes, too. That was, I think, my favorite thing about watching everybody fight on the right. But once again, very similar to, actually, no, reverse, excuse me, I was looking at the wrong damage. Red team actually taking a short lead momentarily here. They had the damage lead before Stingray and Maid were refusing to give them up, and now they're lining up. Look at Santy's pressure on the recovery. Impala was instantly there to try and follow up, but Stingray closes one out and gets it back to even.
They've basically been trading 1 for 1. Now Stingray is going to fall, except the big outlier here is Santy, who's still technically in the orange at this point. Not necessarily in danger of being taken out anytime too soon, like that down air from Stingray, still in the orange after that. D-Light recovery, almost taking Maid off the top, not quite.
What's one of the ace picks we said yesterday people should have on their team? Val. Everybody should be looking to have at least one, and that is going to be an incredible call from Stingray in disguise to take Jetbean out really early, and Santy falling shortly afterwards. However, they do have Maid and experience pretty decently damaged. They need to capitalize on that ASAP, Swarky.
The ability to respond and take out Maid or experience or both needs to be a focus for the red team right now, because yes, Jetbean went down a little bit earlier than everyone else. Impala has a ton of damage on his stock, but they just got experience down. Maid is pretty damaged as well. Impala's on final stock, but still, you have Stingray and you have Maid, who are both extremely in the red, and we could see this change. Again, Santy continuing the same thing that he did first stock in the yellow on his second stock.
Yeah, Santy being the ace in the sleeve right now, and their team combos have been better. That knockout that happened, experience was off of a perfectly lined up one, where they separated Maid, and they were able to get experience slipping. However, on the bottom of the stage, Impala gonna miss the wall, going a little bit too far. It's a bit scary in that spot, but Santy answering right back, getting Maid. They have 2 stocks up on Santy, but oh my goodness, it's so far.
Is he gonna fall in the orange? The ground pound, he's gonna go under the stage, and Maid is right there with the GCD light into the ground pound. That was a tough situation for Santy to be in, and that could lead to the game there.
A checkmate.
It started off with that Impala. That was the check. Getting Santy right there might have been the checkmate.
They had experience floating on the right-hand side, too, to make sure Santy was forced to go to the left. And now Jetbean falls after losing that stock really early on the second one. Santy basically looking for a hopeful Nair Gimp. Oh, wait. if you somehow do this, Santy, with all of them fighting in center, wait, the answer is just get them to all box in the center.
Made an experience, like helping each other out, giving them the hit that they needed to get back. Either giving them the chase dodge, giving them an additional jump, or actually sending them upward towards the platform. That was really well played.
I like how, actually Santy looking for the dodge over on the left, gonna get hit by recovery though. This is the worst place to be in right now on the center platform. Honestly, I'm going back to that middle. Like, hopefully try and get somebody make a mistake. He's actually damaged Stingray and experience a lot. If he gets a recovery on Stingray in the center, like Stingray keeps fighting over there, that could work.
What a weapon toss! The ricochet off the wall, then being in the right spot to be able to follow up off of that. Incredible work from experience that game. Low damage numbers, but that's because they got super early knockouts. Across the board for the blue team is 306 from Maid. 382 from Stingray, and then I think it was another 300 damage coming out from experience as well. So hugely low numbers means super optimal KOs.
I mean, you look back at what happened, right? Stingray caught Jetbean really early in center. Impala fell really early. That amazing edge guard that happened to Santy when Santy was only in the